Hendricks this year. An ERA nearly a point lower here at home than it is on the road. Overall, it's 6-8 with an ERA under 4. 2 balls and a strike to count to Yadi Molina. Right back up the middle of the base hit. For Yadi Molina, his 200th career base hit that cost Paul 45 games already this year. Jammed that time, rolled her to third. And Bryant with an offline throw that Rizzo does a nice job at the receiving end on. Just 9 for his last 56 in 14 games leading into the break. But he has here driven in the first run of the ball game. An RBI single back up the middle, just out of reach of the middle infield, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Runners will have a head start. There they go with 2 away, and Wong sends a rocket into right at Jason Hayward to retire the side. Carlos Martinez tonight, 6-5 on the year, an ERA just over 3. Last pitched on Friday against the Reds, and was a 9-1 loser against Cincinnati that day. His effectiveness with that pitch is not what it once was. We'll talk about that as we continue, as Zobra sends a fly ball to center and nothing comes of the leadoff double.
To being flattened out.
Sends that one a long way to left and way out of here.
And that's what's so cool about when you think about having a break, whether it's mentally, physically, but going back into the film room. And for him, he's like, it was such a noticeable difference of where the positioning of his hands were getting into. And now coming out the gate, and it's funny because he's like, I'm going to hit 3 home runs tonight. That was the first thing he said. But look at the position, his barrel, instead of going flat, it gets right into that slot because he said he was so late on fastballs. He wasn't able to get to the pitches he knows he can crush. Right here, he gets a pitch in on the hands, but because of his barrel positioning.
The next 2-2 pitch, and Hayward gets to him. An RBI single into the opposite field. Jason Hayward's resurrection tour continues. A swing and a miss to get him out of trouble.
Human game, there's a heartbeat and fundamentals, whether it's football, basketball, or baseball, are king.
Could have been a promising inning for St. Louis. Instead,
like a CrossFitter, he's in great shape.
A swing and a miss by Russell to retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Martinez, and a still 2-1 St. Louis lead.
CrossFit.
Bases loaded with 2 gone. A 2-2 home. A chopper over the mound. Russell lays out and can't get it out of the glove. Everybody's safe. A run scores, and it's 3-1 St. Louis. Almost a highlight play by Addison Russell. The next 3-2 pitch, and Fowler puts this one in play. A good play by Bryant despite the bogey running past him. Jed Jerko did everything he could to try to get in the way.
Most notably, they were involved.
Anthony Rizzo with a ball into the right center field gap. Hold that thought, Buster, as Anthony Rizzo has just driven in a run on his 2nd double of the night. Hayward with another base hit to drive in a run. 2 in the 5th, and the Cubs have pulled even.
If he wasn't making what he was.
In the air to center field for Pham, who will park under it to make the catch. Bryant tags up and scores. To second goes Hayward, and Chicago has its first lead of the game. Swinging a drive to right, and you can tell that one goodbye. move that might have further repercussions. Carpenter into the opposite field and well hit. Schwarber turns his numbers to the infield and it's gone. Homers in 3 straight for Matt Carpenter, and it's back to a 2-run game.
Matt Carpenter, one of those players that struggled early in the season but has been on fire since mid-May.
Full for salary dumps.
Bounce back up the middle and through. A base hit for Zobrist. This will drive in Hayward. And the Cubs are back on top by 3. Here's the next 3-2 to Carpenter. One hop to first. A tricky hop for Rizzo. Makes a great play. Throw to first goes bad. Wilson gets on it, and a run will score as Pham never stopped. It's the Cubs' turn for a defensive miscue. The payoff pitch home. Molina sends a flare to second for Baez. Wong into right field. And Colton Wong doing his part to keep the night alive.
And this should get Pedro Strop in the game now that is a closing situation.
On the ground to second for Baez to wrap it up tonight. The Chicago Cubs with an impressive come-from-behind victory in their first out of the break. It's the Cubs defeating the Cardinals by a final tonight of 9-6. For Alex Rodriguez, Jessica Mendoza, and Buster Olney.